Welcome to Newmont College of Computer Science's 2018 Commencement Ceremony. We respectfully ask that if you need to take a phone call or have a child who needs attention, please take them out of the theater. As the processional enters, rise and remain standing until invited to take your seats. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome to our 2018 Commencement Ceremony, and thank you to the Maywood Strings Quartet for the music as we entered this afternoon. Please remain standing for the national anthem performed by the Maywood String Quartet. Thank you. You may now be seated. Please join us in a moment of reflection with Newmont's Computer Science Department Chair, Kelly Thompson, as she delivers our invocation.
This invocation is inspired by the Dash, which is a poem by Linda Ellis. Your life is made of 2 dates and a dash. How will you decide to live the dash? D and dash for decency. You will influence many people in your life. Will you be a positive influence or a negative influence? As you begin your careers, you will have many mentors. Seek out those who treat others with respect and learn all you can. Be aware of those who are not proper mentors and learn what not to be. When you see a worthy person, endeavor to emulate them. When you see an unworthy person, then examine your inner self. This is a speech by Confucius. A in dash for apply yourself. Technology is always changing. Never stop learning and researching. But also remember to step away from the technology and have thoughtful, meaningful conversations. Leave your phone at home for a day. When you go out to a restaurant, put your phone away and have a conversation. Apply yourself at work, with friends and family, and your community. S for dash is service. Service is the rent we pay for being. It is the very purpose of life, and not something you do in your spare time. By Marian Wright Edelman. Your technology degree puts you in a very small percentage of U.S. workers at 2.9%. When you are able, share your time and your knowledge with those who may need assistance. H for dash is be humble. Humility is strong and silent. Humility helps us understand that the road to happiness and success is never ending, that it is an ongoing process in the dash. Humility will help you understand that through the difficulties of life, there is also immense amounts of joy and happiness. Don't forget to look at the happiness that is around you all the time. Today we celebrate the accomplishments of those who receive diplomas, of those who begin new chapters in their lives. Make the most of your dash.
We are now honored to hear from Neumont College of Computer Science's President and Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Aaron Reed.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Clark. What a spectacular day. You look fantastic out there. I would love to start with just recognizing and thanking everybody for being here. Thank you to Newmont faculty and staff, and welcome. Welcome to all of our current students and alumni, parents, loved ones, friends, visitors, and most importantly, welcome to the Neumont College of Computer Science 2018 graduates. That sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it? Graduates. That is a huge accomplishment and something that you should be proud of, something you should be acknowledged for, and definitely should be a sense of pride, a source of pride for years to come. It's important, however, to always stay grounded and humble. I've found that family members can help with this. When I graduated with my doctorate degree, I was filled with a sense of pride and accomplishment after years of hard work and effort. My 9-year-old daughter, however, I overheard her a few days later talking to some friends, and somehow the idea that her dad was a doctor came up. And I heard my daughter explaining to her friends, yes, my dad's a doctor, but not the kind of doctor that helps people. Yeah. Thank you, Kaylee. and definitely helped me stay grounded that day. So, family, friends, embrace your graduates, congratulate them, don't let their heads get too big. Bring them back down to earth, that's part of your role. But graduates, this is amazing. Such an amazing accomplishment and really something you should be very proud of. 30% of Americans have bachelor's degrees. So in a few moments, you are going to join a minority of the workforce with that distinctive honor. Even more selective and exclusive is the field of computer science. Out of all of the degrees that are granted and awarded in America every year, 3% go to people working in computer science. Out of all of the entire workforce of the United States, only 1.5% work in computer science. There's been, over the past few decades, a huge push for STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, and STEM education, and all of the STEM growth and jobs, and how important it is to get STEM workers. Yes, that is true, it is important, but if you take away the T out of STEM, which is technology, computer science, STEM is actually pretty average. In between 2009 and 2015, 800,000 jobs were opened in STEM, technology, in STEM fields in America. 650,000 of those were computer science. All the other STEM fields, mathematics, biology, life sciences, physical sciences, engineering, architecture, combined to make up the other 150,000. Computer science drives the United States economy. This is a staggering stat, but 50% of the nation's sustained economic growth comes from science and technology. And with so few workers in those fields, really, it's you who are going to be responsible chiefly for driving America's economy into the future. Not only that, but America faces challenges it never dreamed of before in all kinds of different ways. Challenges that are complex and they scatter the entire globe. And a lot of the battlefields in the future are going to be shifting from tanks and jets to the computer screen. The national security depends on technology. So really it should be us, not just congratulating you, but thanking you for dedicating your life to a field that's so critical as you take on the challenges facing the nation's economy and national security going forward. So thank you. I also really quickly just want to thank and recognize all of the staff and faculty at Newmont College of Computer Science. I work with these people every day. I see the blood, sweat, and tears that go into this school. Every one of these staff members are completely dedicated to you, the students, and making it the most amazing experience that it could possibly be. Big hand to everybody at Newmont. Last but not least, behind every graduate is a successful army of supporters. And without the family, the friends, the well-wishers, the peers that lend a hand along the way, these graduates would not have gotten here. Graduates, please stand up, turn around, and give an applause to these people who are supporting you. Nice job, Dave. All right, thank you. And my time is short here. Your attention span is even shorter, so I'm going to make this as brief as possible. But I do have 3 life lessons that I want to impart with you from the career of Aaron Reed. How exciting is that, huh? You guys never knew you'd be getting something so precious today. I'm going to give you a lesson number 1. Have fun and make friends. So important. Everywhere that I've worked, I've had a great time. Mostly because I work and focus on the people. I try to build relationships that last and have fun at my job. One experience that comes to mind, I worked with 2 guys, Mike and John, that we got along really well. We were developers at this Fortune 500 company, and we thought we knew everything. We were young developers that thought we knew everything about computer science and technology. There was a lady named Anna who worked at the same company. Her job was internal corporate training and making sure that we all knew how to use Word and Excel, for example. She would send out weekly tips via email. Things like, hey, if you want to make something bold in Word, highlight it and hit Control B. How cool is that, huh? So of course we thought these are the most worthless emails I've ever seen in my life, and so I had this brilliant idea. I'm going to build a rule into Outlook that will automatically send any email from Anna to John, and then delete my copy. And I wouldn't have known when the next copy of that email came from Anna, other than the fact that John stood up and said, "What the heck, I just got 2 emails from Anna. Did you guys get any emails?" And of course I was like, I didn't see any emails. I don't know what you're talking about. John, after a couple of weeks, got tired of that and thought it'd be kind of fun to put a rule in his Outlook that would take any email from Anna and send it to Mike. All of a sudden, Mike was getting 3 copies every time Anna sent an email. And he would stand up and say, "Do you guys get 3 copies of Anna's email?" "Well, we didn't get any copies. I don't know what you're talking about." Well, that lasted a week or two, and then Mike thought it'd be a really good idea to put a rule in his Outlook to get any copies of Anna's emails and send them to me. And thus we completed what we call in technology an infinite loop. There's certain life events where you remember where you were at that time. I remember the next time I got an email from Anna. I was sitting at my desk. I remember what I was working on. I was working in Visual Studio, coding away, and all of a sudden my computer just froze. And Outlook popped up in front, and I just remember looking at my inbox, and it was just going and my unread email count was just cranking. And then all of a sudden it just stopped. And you could almost smell the smoke coming from the email servers. We didn't have email for about a week while they dissected that bug, tried to figure out what was going on. My point to you is not break down corporate email servers, but spend time focusing on the people and get to know them, have fun with them, and do things that will build memories with them. John and Mike and I still get together and laugh about that every time. Have fun in your career. Lesson number 2, find yourself and stay true to your beliefs. I worked with a guy named Brian, and we worked at this company where we were building software for medical diagnostic companies. And we came up with this unbelievable architecture for this dynamic rules engine. It was basically, we invented a programming language where you could drag and drop any kind of logic. It would go in and dissect the medical bill and search for any errors based on those rules. It was really impressive, and we were proud of it. He and I were team leads. All of a sudden, he quit. He announced he was leaving. Brian and I went and talked, and we talked about something that's kind of taboo in the work field. You shouldn't talk about salaries, and we did. He told me what he was making now and what he was making at this new company, and a couple of days later, he announced that he was staying. And he announced, he came and talked to me again and told me that the company had matched and beat his offer from this other company, and he was staying, and we talked about his salary then. And a few days later, we had a boss that we both really respected. He was a great guy. And he was really upset. And this is the kind of guy that doesn't really get really upset. I could tell he was getting pressure from people above him, but he was really upset, and he was walking around trying to talk to people and asking about if anybody knew how Brian's salary information leaked. And I didn't leak any of Brian's salary information, but he came to my desk and he just asked me flat out, "Aaron, did you talk to Brian about salary?" And I was young, and I didn't know what to do, and I thought I'd lose my job, and I lied. And I said, "No, I didn't." And that night, I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and I was turning, and I couldn't sleep all night long. And I decided I've got to resolve this issue. And so the next day, I went in and I told my boss, "Hey, I'm sorry, I lied to you," and I told him the whole story. He thanked me. I didn't lose my job. I went back to work. It was all done and forgotten. But about 10 years later, my boss and I have a mutual friend that we didn't know about the connection. And when the connection was made, my friend told me that my boss's eyes lit up and said, "Aaron Reed, I love that guy." And what he said next made a profound impact on my career. He said, "What I love about Aaron Reed was his integrity and his honesty." He never once mentioned this amazing architecture that we had built, this technology and this dynamic rules engine that I was so proud of. He mentioned what I had forgotten years earlier. And my message to you is, find yourself. You may already have that, but if you don't, find it. Whether it's through God and religion, or through your family and core belief system, whatever it is, find yourself and then stay true to that no matter what throughout your career. And I guarantee you that the impact you have on others by doing that will outweigh any impact you make in the technology field. Lesson number 3, find your passion and go and get it. This is actually what led me to Newmont. I was working in a company years ago where we had an all-hands meeting, just like a lot of companies do. The CEO got up there, brought this whole team up there, said, hey, this team finished their product on time, congratulations, everyone was clapping, and he singled out Bob. Bob, come on up here. And he said, yes, the team succeeded, but they never would have done it without Bob. And he went on to explain how Bob had spent countless hours at work, weekends and nights. And he explained that Bob had a futon in his office where he slept, and he spent evenings there a lot of the time. And he put everything he had into this project. And he got divorced, and he put everything through it and persevered, and the product shipped. Big round of applause. And I remember in that moment not clapping and saying, are you kidding me? Here we are celebrating the demise of a family because a product shipped, and everyone's clapping. And I thought in that moment, I need to find something that drives my passion and something that I feel good about doing. And so I started looking. I ended up at Newmont 14 years ago, and I found that passion. I love Newmont. I love working in education. I love knowing that I have some small chance to impact positively someone's life and improve their life through education. I love working with our students and seeing their eyes light up when the light bulbs go on. I love working with our alumni and hearing about and seeing their great impact that they have on society. And I love seeing them come back to campus and visit us and recruit students. So 2 things. A, I hope you're all as proud of us as we are proud of you. We love you guys. And we want to see you again. And we want to make Newmont better than ever before. I want to make Newmont better than ever before. I want your feedback. I want you to come talk to me, write me a note, give me a call, but I want to know your opinions on how we can make Newmont better. And then I want to see you around campus. I want to see you coming back, come and recruit students, come and do an enterprise project, come and teach, but stay involved in your alma mater because we care about you. And B, lesson number 3, find that passion, whatever it is. You might not find it on your first job. I certainly did not, but you'll find it down the road, and then when you find it, go after it. Okay? So those are the 3 lessons. Have fun and make friends, find yourself and stay true to your beliefs no matter what, and find your passion and go and get it. You might not remember those. You got a lot on your mind today, but you can see this on YouTube, so go check it out. I'm sure you will tonight, right? If you remember one thing from today, remember that today was the day you joined an elite tech workforce, the 1.5% that are chiefly responsible for the future of America's economy and national security. And even more exclusively than that, remember that today is the day you joined a growing army of tech giants that are part of a family of Neumont College of Computer Science alumni. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, President Reed. Newmont's programs are rigorous. They require single-minded dedication and a significant amount of sacrifice. Newmont is not to be taken lightly. Earning a degree from Newmont is not easy, sorry. I had some notes of my own on this very page here that I needed to have in there. All right. Okay, it's not easy, okay? Now, achieving academic honors at Newmont is a significant achievement or accomplishment. But even more is achieving a perfect academic record. And those individuals who reach the pinnacle of academic performance, we've got Mary Schultz, we've got Benjamin Goff, and we've got Justin Furtado. All right, you can sit down. Go ahead and take a seat. All right. Not only is it difficult to achieve those honors, but obtaining that perfect score across the entire academic career that they have had is close to impossible. And these three did exactly that. And it is extremely amazing and important that we recognize their academic accomplishments. So let's go ahead and give them another round of applause. And it is really cool to point out that all three of them, perfect. I can't tell you their GPA, I'm not allowed to, but perfect. All right. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing from our valedictorian, Mary Schultz. Mary is from El Dorado, I said it wrong before, El Dorado, Arkansas. She attributes her love for technology to memories of playing Spyro the Dragon, is that right? On PlayStation 1 with her sister Drusilla. It was these experiences that drove her to want to focus on technology as a career. When Mary visited Newmont for Frex, she instantly fell in love with the culture and its heavy focus on challenging students day to day. By degree declaration, she had come to the realization that she enjoyed making software that would better humanity and make lives easier instead of making games. During her time at Newmont, she has worked as a resident advisor and the president of Unified Student Government. Currently, she is a software engineer at RisePoint, a company creating quality management software for businesses across the globe. Mary.
I have my own notes today. Congratulations, everybody. Woo! If you're sitting in one of these chairs in front of me today, you survived. Mostly. Today, we have become Newmont graduates. The unofficial home of the llamas is now home of tomorrow's software engineers, game developers, product managers, system administrators, and web designers. It has been a long 3 years. Many mornings of rolling out of bed for that 7 a.m. class, frenzying around the free food in so many tech talks that we've lost count, and Googling our way through more finals than we care to admit, have all brought us to the place we are now. For some, this was a harder fought battle than for others, but throughout our tenure here at Newmont, we all have our battle scars. For now, the most stressful part of our lives is behind us, and while other new and exciting adventures await, now is the time for celebration. Each of us had our own unique mixture of experiences here at Newmont. These experiences have been the catalyst for all of us. From raising money for the Academic Center to every single capstone, we've grown from all of these memories. And as we step forward into our futures unknown, we will take with us this wisdom as a foundation for growth in the face of conflict and adversity. It is important that we take with us every lesson learned from Newmont, from the good times and the bad, from the times of laughter and of joy, and the times of community into the future. Graduation marks yet another extraordinary chapter in our lives closed. And with that, I can think of nothing more than the cheap and cliche inspirational canvas one of my roommates bought during the blur of our first year at Newmont. Don't forget where you came from, but never lose sight of where you are going. After many hours of sitting in my living room, staring blankly at that wall art, it has become ingrained into my thinking. As I thought about what I wanted to speak on today, I kept thinking about that unassuming canvas that had been long since forgotten by a past roommate hanging on our wall. We can all take these memories with us that we'll be reminiscing on for the next few hours and use them as a foundation for our futures. I have worked with my colleagues, Mr. Benjamin Goff and Mr. Justin Furtado, to compile a few pieces of our own advice that we would like you guys to keep in mind when we go into the future. The first piece of advice is quite simple. Knowledge is extremely powerful. Never stop learning. I know Dr. Reed has already talked on this previously, but Newmont is only the beginning of our education. The technology industry is one which demands continual growth for success. In order to thrive, we'll have to continually learn new coding practices, security procedures, and likely even add to our design arsenals. We may need to learn to adapt to a new flavor of agile development, or even learn more complex interpersonal communication skills. Lucky for us, Newmont has taught us to teach ourselves, and our key here is to never lose that skill. The second bit of advice is that people are not our enemies, but are instead our allies. If enterprise has taught us anything, it's that the corporate world is made up of simple people just like us. While the projects we take on may be daunting and complicated, there's no need to fear fellow team members or superiors. Chances are they're just as apprehensive as you. The worst thing to do is feel like you're not important enough to take questions into your own hands and ask the people above you. You have been chosen as part of this team for a reason, even if you aren't yet sure what that reason is. Finally, it's integral that we all continue to persevere. If there's one thing I've learned at Newmont, it's that the answer no is not a closed door. In the days coming, we will all find ourselves in a situation where this could apply. Whether it be a conflict with a teammate, a decision with a superior, or opening up your ideas to a product team, don't stop at no. Stephen King had his first book rejected 30 times before he finally found success. Now, his books have sold over 350 million copies. You should always know when to let dogs lie, but if you truly believe in something, fight for it. Never let anyone tell you that you can't. To conclude, thank you, family and friends, for being with us both today and throughout our lives. More specifically, thank you, parents, for being our coaches. Thank you, friends, for being our teammates. And thank you, teachers and administrators, for being our mentors. I would like to personally thank my mother for not always getting it 100% right, but always putting her 100% into teaching and supporting me every step of the way. I would also like to thank my late father for passing on a very important message to me early in my youth. We all can take this idea with us into our next chapters. Our successes and our failures are what we make of them, not what other people think of them. Once again, congratulations, Cohort 31, on all of our triumphs, and I'll leave you with this one last imparting sentiment. How many computer programmers does it take to change a light bulb? None. That's a hardware problem. Thank you, and have a great evening. Congratulations!
Thank you, Mary. And congratulations to you all and to all of our graduates on the remarkable accomplishments that we celebrate today. Our keynote speaker was born to American parents in Subic Bay, Republic of the Philippines. John Knotwell spent most of his childhood in Southern California near San Diego. John's father was a career United States Navy sailor who raised John with a fierce sense of patriotism, work ethic, and respect. John is the newly minted Chief Executive Officer for the Utah Technology Council, an industry association supporting more than 6,000 technology-oriented companies across the state. As a 12-year veteran in the growing tech community, he has a unique understanding of the blend of sales and community it takes to support continued growth and prosperity in Utah. Previously, John won the CXO of the Year and the 40 Under 40. John.
Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you to the Newmont staff and all of you for giving me an opportunity to say a few words. Graduations are awkward. Some of you really want to be here. Some of you just want to go celebrate the fact that you made it this far. And the vast majority of you have no idea who the heck I am. I don't blame you. I'm sure there's some bio printed somewhere. You heard some of it that was ripped off my Wikipedia page, which the fact that I even have a Wikipedia page is equally as awkward. You know what else is awkward and maybe a little scary? Giving a speech to all of you that is meant to inspire, uplift, and motivate you to not suck as you venture out into the frightening world. I was told that I could say just about anything I wanted, which, to be honest, is probably the worst advice that you could give anyone. I think the exact words were something like, "Don't worry, John. They're not going to remember anything that you say anyway, so just don't say anything stupid." Check. Not going to say anything stupid. So what's next for many of you? The big scary workforce where automatically you are on uneven footing. You are back at the beginning, starting fresh, and likely the lowest on whatever totem pole you find yourself suddenly attached to. Luckily for you, there are a ton of totem poles looking for people just like you throughout the workforce, especially in Utah. So here goes nothing. You did this. This is something I want you to remember for the rest of your life and say to yourself often, you did this. This will inevitably help those of you with your spouses and save countless hours of fighting. You did this. You made the choice to come here, to Newmont. And the vast majority of you made that choice coming from outside our fair state, myself included, although I didn't come to Newmont. That's already a pretty big deal. I just dropped off my oldest daughter at Southern Utah University in Cedar City, a mere 3 hours from here. And if you asked her, she's now so far away, it will take Mars-level mission planning to get her home. So yeah, you made the choice to come here, and that's already a big deal. First point for you. You made the choice to earn a degree, to go to class every day, to put in the work, to take the time. You did this. You woke up, you dragged your butt out of bed, maybe you showered. You did this. You explored what commitment means, and you have now found yourself here listening to me. Now, why in the world you're sitting here listening to me is beyond me. I'm no model student. In fact, it took me 13 years and 4 universities to finally get across the finish line that you're crossing today. Not only did I take my sweet time, but I lived a little, experienced a few things, had a kid or two in the interim, or 5. I changed career paths pretty dramatically and was already working in tech when I graduated with a degree in political science. Trust me, you made the right choice. I don't remember most of what I was taught. Granted, it was more than a decade ago, and my memory is getting shakier as the gray hair spreads throughout my head. But I do remember some very specific lessons, some that I want to share with you. I learned that I was dedicated to my education. It may have taken me 13 years, but I never thought for once that I was going to stop. My grandfather told me when I was younger that the journey teaches you a lot more than the destination. And believe me, the destinations that you will achieve are very spectacular. That is to say that the knowledge gained was important, very important. But the way we communicate with each other, identify how we work best with each other, and how we are most able to grow was the most important thing that I learned besides the knowledge. I learned a lot about myself. I learned that pulling all-nighters with newborns and well into your 20s is not a real thing, especially when your wife thinks that since you're up anyway, you might as well take the feedings. I learned that cigars were a darn good vice to have and that the smell of them today still makes me nostalgic for my first years of college in California. I also learned that nobody likes the smell of cigars, and I'm glad that they were confiscated at our border in Utah. I learned that some friends will last a lifetime, and some of them won't finish the journey with you. I learned to listen, to base my choices off as much information as I could gather, and to own those choices, good or bad, as they came to fruition, and that failure in those choices is not a bad thing. In fact, it's one of the best things. Failure is success in another form. You did that too, and that's great. Why are you listening now? Are you listening to me? Or is the latest download of Fortnite on Android keeping you occupied? It's cool, I like it too. Standing here with all of your eyes on me, I think I'd rather be listening to your stories and learning from you than trying to inspire you with mine. But as a CEO, and as every other title I have held up to this point in my life, I can tell you there is no more important skill than listening. And it is a skill, trust me on that one. It's so much easier to half listen, to glean what you need or are looking for from a conversation and move on. A lot of times, half listening is just more efficient, especially if you have a roommate who talks for days or a spouse who is so wrapped up in the Kardashians that they start to feel like the extended family. But true listening shows you the value of those people around you. It shows that you are invested in them not only as individuals and perhaps employees, but as people. And that you, as a colleague, a coworker, a boss, or a friend, want them to succeed. In a world where we all wish one another success is the only way to find success ourselves. It's how we build each other up, how we build up our organizations, and how we have faith in the future. One more lesson learned before I shamelessly dart away from this podium and duck while you try not to poke each other's eyes out with your caps. I want to give you the one piece of advice that was given to me that I didn't follow for far too long. Advice that I wish I had taken the moment it was given to me. This is the advice that I regret not taking immediately, and the one that I learned to appreciate and almost missed. Find a mentor. Find 10 mentors. This is not someone who is old and gray and has lived so much longer than you that you think they might actually be a time traveler. This is your next door neighbor. Men, this next one is for you. This is the woman who has grown her career in a male-dominated profession and succeeded. It's the person who works next to you that has been doing this job for a decade and has never sought promotion because he loves the work too much. It's the person who sees things in you, your ability, your talent, your promise. The person who sees that in you and knows that you doubt all of those things about yourself. Find someone or 3 someones that you trust, people that have your absolute best interest in mind. Come to rely on their wisdom. Put yourself in the mindset that you don't know everything so that you're able to learn from them. Despite your best intentions at trying to be the best you can be and know all that is knowable, the older you get, the less you realize you know. The more you realize you have to learn. Mentors can get you there faster than you can get yourself there. It's a choice you have to make, and it's a hard one. You cannot build a future for yourself or for those you care about without hard choices. And I don't mean the hard choices like, what will you eat tonight, or the ethical dilemma of, will I use a cheat code to pass this level instead of just working it through, or the cool choice of, will I unlock the code that cures cancer? Although some of you might face those choices and make the right ones, I mean the choices of, will I stay or will I go? Will I take the job at X company, or maybe make a little less money but love working at company Y? Will I take the time to explore some new concept, invest in some new technology, or solve a hard problem? And here's why it's so important to keep uttering that phrase to yourself over and over again, as it's an inspiration, not a punishment, every single day. You will find work. In fact, you will work, more than likely, for many, many companies over your career. You will make the choice of what kind of company to work for, how much of your investment goes into that work, and how much of your life is fulfilled or lacking because of those choices. In Utah, we have over 6,500 technology companies. We're the fastest growing tech community in the country, adding job after job after job on every listing site that there is, including Craigslist. Why? There will never be a moment where opportunity is not calling you. The only real impact you can make in your career or on your life is your choice. Make the choice to stay. Make this community your home. Explore opportunities in the mountains. Invest your time here finding the balance that we all want in work and in life. Join an organization that makes you feel good about what you do. Find one that helps you give back. Travel the world. Bring the creativity that cultivates from that travel back with you and put it to work. Don't be in such a hurry to start adulting. Remember that at every difficult choice, every fork in the road of your life, you did this. You have done it before and you will do it again. Do not allow the world to tell you any different. There are no great winds of change that we get swept up in. There are choices we make painstakingly at times to move ourselves forward. You have already proven your ability to make these choices, to move yourself forward, to come out on the other side successful, and at this point, now today, with a numb rear end. So I tip my proverbial cap to you and congratulate you, the Newmont College class of 2018, on this magnificent milestone and wish you Godspeed on your next journey. You did this, and thank you very much.
Will the candidates for Bachelor of Science please rise? That's all of you. Okay. All right. In accordance with the laws of the state of Utah, the certification requirements of the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges, and the graduate requirements of Neumont College of Computer Science, I have the honor of presenting the following candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Bachelor of Science in Software and Game Development, Bachelor of Science in Information Systems, Bachelor of Science in Business Technology Operations Management, and Bachelors of Science in Web Design and Development.
On behalf of the college, the Neumont College of Computer Science, I accept these graduates. Graduates, you may now turn your tassels to symbolize that you have met the requirements of graduation in your program.
Valedictorian, receiving her Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Mary Schultz. Salutatorian, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Benjamin Goff. Salutatorian, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Software and Game Development, Justin Furtado. Graduates receiving the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Jacob Mark Althouse. Mason G. Campbell. James Anthony Casterjohn. Brandon Coates. Joshua Flores. Doug Gatto. Christopher Harpel. Gavin Hofseth. Alexander Huertas. Jason Hymas. David Kramer. Kyle Billiot. Tristan Maris. Dallin Matson. John Preem. Ryan Stead. Alfonso Vasquez Jr. Hugh Vo. Tyler Voiles. Aaron Woodall. Manson Chu. Graduates receiving the Bachelor of Science in Software and Game Development. Wesley Sheng. Kyle St. Amant. Michael Vanderlip. Bashir Abul Qasim. Juan Aguilar. Christian Jose Bravo. Ethan Cafferty. Kevin Nicholas Chamberlain. Cannon Dowse. Taylor Elizabeth Dudley. Ryle Patrick Limas Espinosa. Dayton Henry. Logan Johnson. Joseph Jones. Dallas Ross Lewis. Mitch McCurrett. Randall McClure. Tristan Elise Orr. Bina Smith. Jesse Stoltz. Christian Surrey. Marco Torres. Zachary Tovey. Brian Walsh. Tyler Wharton. Zachary Zordell. Graduates receiving the Bachelor of Science in Business Technology Operations Management. James Borg. Evan Butts. Quentin Clayton. Cameron Corns. Jacob Dotrieve. Scott Fryover. Jaime Herrera. Tyler Hill. Wyatt Height. Sarah Jones. Raymond Justice. Christopher Anthony Mana Ikaika Kwakahela. Steph Leaks. Joshua Little. Christian Ramirez. Shane Rouleau. Morgan Smith. Robert Smith. Trent Thomas. Adrian Wenceslau. Graduates receiving the Bachelor of Science in Web Design and Development. Justine Berry. Daniel Kermeyer. Zachary Peterson. Christopher Quintanilla. Caleb Stephen Sanders. Mache Smoosh. Ryan Spargo. Sophie Wargo. Barrett Woods.
Congratulations, you are now Neumont College of Computer Science alumni. Throw the hats if you want them. Yeah, throw those hats. There we go. Now go pick up those hats. I would like to express one more time a huge thank you to everybody for attending today and for all those, attending or not, who have supported these students throughout their time here at Newmont. It takes a lot to get through a Newmont education, and they could not have done it without you. Thank you. Guests, please remain seated. actually stand and remain standing at your seats while the graduates leave the theater. I would like to invite everybody to join us in the lobby for a reception immediately following our recession out of the theater.